Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Crystal Palace Manchester United preview. It's Wednesday night, 8:15 kick-off at Selhurst Park. We have got a good record at Selhurst Park. We've won our last 4 league games at Selhurst Park. We beat Crystal Palace 2-0 last season at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace have won their last 2 visits though to Old Trafford. They've beaten us on the opening day of this season 3-1 and they beat us last season at Old Trafford 2-1. Crystal Palace are looking to do a league double over us for the first time ever. We're 17 points in front of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are sitting 13th in the Premier League. They recently drew 0-0 with Fulham. Crystal Palace's current manager is Roy Hodgson. He's been Crystal Palace manager now for a few years. I'm actually surprised he's still managing. He's managed a lot of clubs in his managerial career. You know, he's at Palace now, but before he's managed Liverpool, he's managed West Brom, he's managed Fulham. I think he's managed Inter Milan before and Blackburn. I can't remember all of the clubs though he has managed. Crystal Palace have got some good players. They've obviously got Wilfried Zaha. I don't think he'll be playing in this game. Wilfried Zaha has actually been out with injury. Don't forget, we had Wilfried Zaha at one point, but he left Manchester United because he didn't get enough chances. They've got Jordan Ayew, he's a good player. They've also got Christian Benteke. They've got Andros Townsend. They've got Patrick Van Aanholt. But Crystal Palace have got a few injuries. Now, Nathaniel Klein has been out of injury for them. I think he's close to making a return. James MacArthur, he's out with injury. Connor Wickham, he's out with injury. Jeffrey Schlupp, he's out with injury. Sacco's out with injury. Hennessy's out with injury. Nathan Ferguson's out with injury. And James Tompkins is out with injury. So there you go. We're going into this game on the back of a 0-0 draw with Chelsea. A lot of United fans said that was a good point against Chelsea. You know, it weren't the best of results, but it is better than losing. The talking point of that game was the VAR penalty decision. I think it was a penalty because it did hit Callum Hudson-Odoi's hand. He was in a tussle with Mason Greenwood. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave his perception on it. And he said it was 100% nailed on penalty. But VAR had overturned the penalty. By the way, Solskjaer has come out recently and said that rivals have turned referees against Manchester United. But overall, it was a very, very boring game. There was some chances in the game. You know, Rashford had a good chance for us from the free kick. Produced a good save from Mendy. Scott McTominay had a good chance. Produced another good save from Mendy. Fred had a couple of chances. Chelsea also had their chances as well. The best chance of the game was from Hakim Ziyech, and it produced a fantastic save from David De Gea. Giroud, he had 2 good chances as well. De Gea did well to his credit in the Chelsea game because he made some good saves, but most of the saves were straightforward saves. We've really struggled against the top 6 sides in the Premier League this season. And people say, you know, you've got to beat the top 6 sides if you are to be genuine title contenders. In the vast majority of the games against the big sides, we failed to score. You know, drew 0-0 with Chelsea, drew 0-0 with Arsenal, drew 0-0 with Liverpool, drew 0-0 with Man City, drew 0-0 with Chelsea at Old Trafford earlier on in the season. We obviously lost as well to Tottenham 6-1. My biggest concern about Solskjaer is his decision making, because he's tactically naive, especially in the big games. Yeah, maybe in some games you can say he has showed tactical flexibility, but he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. But despite the draw with Chelsea, I can still almost assure that we are going to finish in the top 4. But top 4 is not safe yet. We're second in the Premier League. It would be a disaster to finish out of the top 4. Top 4 is now our aim because we know we're not going to win the Premier League. I disregarded the title quite a few weeks ago now, and the vast majority of Man United fans have disregarded the title. I don't see us winning a title under Ollie, to be honest with you. You know, we haven't won the Premier League title since 2013. Solskjaer must win a trophy as Manchester United manager to avoid the sack. I think Solskjaer does deserve until at least May. Could be given another season at the football club. Whether he sees out next season or not, I don't know. But we haven't won a trophy since 2017, and a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. You know, the Europa League is a chance of a trophy, and the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. But I've already said to you, if we can finish in the top 4, the top 3, or finish second this season and win a trophy, that'll represent a good season for Man United, then that'll give us something to build on going on into next season. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. You know, we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. Our last defeat away from home in the league was to Liverpool back in January 2020. Liverpool won 2-0. So that gives us the advantage going into this game against Crystal Palace. We've won some games at Old Trafford this season, but if you've noticed, all our defeats have come at Old Trafford this season. Maybe some of it's to do with no fans being there, because it does have an impact on the players. But I think Solskjaer will make changes in this game against Palace from the 0-0 draw with Chelsea. You know, he may rest a couple of key players at least, because obviously Manchester City is coming up on Sunday. A lot of United fans, including me, are expecting us to lose that game. Manchester City are on a 20-game winning streak. They are the champions-elect. They're on course to win their 5th Premier League title. They've won 4 Premier League titles at the moment. Obviously, 2 have come under Guardiola. They won 1 under Manuel Pellegrini, and they won 1 under Roberto Mancini. When they won the title under Roberto Mancini, that was their first Premier League title in 44 years. But City have pissed it, you know. City are 12 points in front of us. Pep Guardiola is regarded as one of the best managers in the world. You know, he's won quite a few trophies at Man City, not only 2 Premier League titles. City have won the EFL Cup for the last 3 seasons. They're in this season's EFL Cup final. They do play Tottenham. A few years ago as well, Manchester City won the domestic treble, so they replicated what we did back in 1999. I think that was the season when Manchester City finished on 100 points. City's priority is to win the Champions League, and they are into the Champions League quarter-finals now, I think. City have never won the Champions League. Guardiola's won the Champions League. He won it during his time at Barcelona. But City have just got some very, very good players, you know. They've obviously got Gabriel Jesus, that's very, very good. They've got Sergio Aguero, that's good. He's had a few injuries, though. They've got Raheem Sterling. They've got that Phil Foden. He's come up City's ranks very, very well. They've got Riyad Mahrez. Got him from Leicester a few years ago. They've got Ferran Torres. They brought him in last year. They've got Bernardo Silva, who's good. They've got Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is regarded as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Ilkay Gundogan's done very, very well for them this season. Rodri, though, I don't really rate Rodri, to be honest with you. I think Kyle Walker's a good right back. Cancelo's quite good. City have also got Benjamin Mendy, but Benjamin Mendy is actually injury prone. Laporte's a very good centre half. Ruben Diaz, City brought him in last year. They've also got Nathan Ake, who they brought in last year. They've got John Stones. John Stones has had some good games this season, but I've never really rated John Stones. Don't forget, City lost David Silva last year. They let Otamendi go. He was part of the deal for Ruben Diaz. And a few years ago, Vincent Kompany left them. He went to become player manager at Anderlecht. And it is at the Etihad on Sunday. We are away from home. We've already played City twice this season. You know, they beat us in the EFL Cup semi-final this season 2-0. And the game at Old Trafford earlier on in the season was 0-0. But we did actually beat City 3 times out of the 4 times we played them last season. And after Manchester City, it's AC Milan in the Europa League last 16. And that's going to be a tough game. And then I think it is West Ham. So games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. So anyway, for this game against Palace, I think Cavani remains a doubt. Cavani has missed our last 4 games now because he has got a muscle injury. It's a shame that he's out because Cavani has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. His hold-up play is very, very good. He holds the ball well. He creates chances and he scores good goals. I think Cavani wants to stay at Manchester United for next season. So I presume we'll trigger that 1-year extension on his contract. Solskjaer did actually say not so long ago that Cavani is set for contract extension talks. We got Cavani on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Paul Pogba, we know he's not going to play any part in this game. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Chelsea that Paul Pogba is going to be out for a few more weeks because he has got a thigh injury. You can say that Paul Pogba is a big miss. because we lack quality in that midfield without him. Because when Paul Pogba's playing, he brings creativity in the midfield. Paul Pogba had an ankle injury earlier on this season, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. In recent months, his performances have been good. And, you know, he had been enjoying the best period in his Man United career since he rejoined. Now, there's a chance that Paul Pogba will depart Man United in the summer. But where will he go? Now, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, Real Madrid have been in for him. PSG have been in for him. And his former club Juventus have been interested in him. I think there's a good chance he'll go back to Juventus, because Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 very good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Said the other week, we revealed our asking price for Paul Pogba. It's £100 million. We won't get £100 million for him, but I think if we sell him in the summer, we can get from between £60 to £70 million. Mino Raiola, he's desperate to get his client out of the football club. Mino Raiola has been criticised a few times, and he doesn't have a good relationship with Man United, and Mino Raiola recently admitted that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And he made the announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. He said a few weeks ago that we'd held talks with Paul Pogba over his future, and Solskjaer said he's happy, and Solskjaer suggested he could sign a new contract. And if we can't get an adequate replacement for Pogba in the summer, then he could possibly sign a new contract. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Obviously, Juan Mata is out for a couple of weeks. Solskjaer confirmed that prior to the Chelsea game. Mata probably wouldn't have played in this game anyway, even if he had been available. On my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. Yeah. This year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career. We need signings in the summer transfer window. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. A centre-back and a forward are the 2 priorities. Solskjaer recently gave us an update on our transfer plans for the summer transfer window. He's only interested in bringing in players that are a perfect fit for the club. Solskjaer needs to be backed in the summer transfer window, because I don't think Ole has been backed enough so far, and he's endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, and he did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And when we was enjoying them really bad periods under Ole, Woodward came out quite a few times and assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. The board are a liability. They've been a liability for a long time now. You know, because our recruitment policy's been poor for a while. We've overpaid for players in recent years, and none of the managers have been backed enough since Ferguson retired. But Solskjaer not so long ago confirmed that he's got the backing of the owners to get the players that he wants to recommend in. Yeah, he's brought some good players in, as Ollie, to his credit, but as yet he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in, so hopefully that changes in the summer. You know, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, not so long ago, I give you the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. It said we've received a transfer boost with Real Madrid because Real Madrid are considering offers for Rafael Varane in the summer. OK Dairo said that Real Madrid have reduced their asking price for Rafael Varane to 43 million. But initially, they value him at around 61 million. The AS said that talks over extending his deal have not settled. Man United, Liverpool and PSG are all interested. I'd certainly take Rafael Varane at Man United. He's a world-class centre-half and he's highly experienced because he's 27 years of age and he would go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Rafael Varane has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's been at Real Madrid for 10 years now. He's won 18 major honours and he's made over 300 appearances. Real Madrid paid €10 million for him from Lens. We definitely need a centre-half because, Lindelof's too much of a liability and Lindelof and Maguire don't complement each other in our back line. I've said Solskjaer needs to take Lindelof out of the team, play Bailly instead. But obviously Bailly's injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. You already know the news on Jules Koundé from Sevilla. We're unwilling to meet his £68 million release clause. But we are still interested. Koundé's performances this season for Sevilla have been very, very good. There's still a chance that we will sign Jadon Sancho in the summer. Apparently, we are preparing to put a £58 million bid in for Jadon Sancho. One narrative said that we can sign Sancho for as little as 75 million in the summer, but we are no longer the favourites. Apparently, we face a battle with Real Madrid. Sports Build have already said that we're still very interested in signing Sancho. The Athletic said different. It said we paused our transfer pursuit of Jadon Sancho due to Mason Greenwood's progress. Borussia Dortmund's CEO recently made an admission saying that Sancho, Haaland and more Dortmund stars could be sold in the summer to avoid financial chaos. Dortmund actually reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million earlier on this season, so they're not 20 million off because last summer Dortmund's valuation was £108 million and we was not willing to meet that valuation, so the valuation was a stumbling block. You know the news on Erling Haaland? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign him as well. It was a disappointing January transfer window for us because we only saw one arrival and that was Amad Diallo Traore, but Solskjaer said a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. I think we're going to get rid of more players in the summer transfer window. We need to get rid of more players anyway because obviously we'll raise funds and it will help us with our rebuilding process. So like I've said, I think there's a good chance that Juan Mata will leave the club in the summer. Juan Mata doesn't get in the team now. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Real Sociedad that he's not surprised that Juan Mata's linked with a move away from the club. There's 3 Italian clubs that are interested in Juan Mata. Earlier on this season, Juan Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. It was an unnamed Saudi Arabian club. But Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. We got Mata in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Matic, there's a chance we could sell him in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. As you all know, I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player, and plus now he's ageing up. Matic has been at the club almost 4 years. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. I'm expecting Phil Jones to leave this year. I'm surprised Phil Jones didn't leave in January. But obviously Solskjaer said he's willing to give him a second chance. Phil Jones, he must have been out of injury now for over a year. He doesn't get in our team anyway. This is Jones' 10th season at the club. He's been a long servant. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, there's a good chance Paul Pogba will leave in the summer. There's a lot of Man United fans that are saying we should sell Martial in the summer. If we sell Martial in the summer, I think we'd get around £30 million. Martial isn't good enough because he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's had chances, but he just hasn't converted them. But Solskjaer did say that he's been impressed with Martial's work rate and he's backed him to rediscover his form. He actually said we're prepared to sell Martial this summer if we can get Erling Haaland in. But Martial was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. He's been at the club now over 5 years. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Victor Lindelof. Solskjaer's already confirmed that he's prepared to sell either De Gea or Dean Henderson in the summer. I am Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in at this present time, but I don't think he's the long-term manager for Manchester United. If we was to sack Solskjaer at the end of this season or at some point next season, who would come in to replace him? Now, obviously, Pochettino was the favourite at one point. Julian Nagelsmann's been on our agenda before. So too was Massimiliano Allegri. Would Wayne Rooney even take over at Man United? Because he said at one point that his dream would be to manage Manchester United. This is Solskjaer's second full season at the moment. We've enjoyed very bad periods under him, but we've also enjoyed good periods under him where we have seen some consistency. There's been some games where Ollie's got the best out of the team and he's actually improved certain players to his credit. Ollie also deserves credit because he's got us to the Europa League last 16. He's got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Ollie did well last season in his first full season at the club. Guided us to 3 semi-finals. Got us a 3rd place finish and got us qualification for the Champions League. And to Solskjaer's credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. And he's brought good players in, and I do also like the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promoted the youth. Will Solskjaer sign a new contract at the end of the season? He said not so long ago that Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that nobody spoke to him over a new contract. they actually said we'll wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. Actually said we could offer him a new 2-year deal on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League. Ole's into the final 18 months of his current contract. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager over 2 years and hasn't won a trophy yet. That's bad. But reflecting now on he's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience, but he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, so that's another one of my concerns about Ole. You can probably say he's the best manager since Ferguson. You know, we appointed Ole in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Ole knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the culture of the club. But if Ole doesn't succeed as Man United manager, I'll still adore him, because at the end of the day he's a club legend and he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And Ole's our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club with... Yeah? Pasta? No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. And no one's going to last as long as Ferguson did, because Ferguson endured a 27-year tenure. Ferguson won 30-odd trophies, so he brought success to the club. So there you go. So like I said earlier on in my next video, I'll be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.